Again, what the fuck am I listening to here, man? Let's change it. That's quite enough Lemmy music for one night. Crack on with it, shall I? It's quite unnerving when you see that animation happening there, by the way, and you can't hear the sound through OBS. Hello everybody who maybe join me, and welcome in to tonight's movie news. I'm just not even going to bother saying the day. It doesn't matter what fucking day it is. They all bleed into one anyway. It's Wednesday. But welcome into this movie news edition of Movie News. I am Jonathan C. Walsh, here to speak about all of the latest happenings in the world of Hollywood, in the world of show business, in the world of film in general. And I'm going to start the show with this. As you can see, the headline is all about Fantastic Beasts. Not Beats, as I like to call it. Fantastic Beasts free these secrets of Dumbledore Albus himself. The early reactions are in. This is not quite the reviews from the critiques. This is the sort of purgatory area where we are not yet ready for reviews in their fullest grandeur, but we are ready for the initial reactions on social media. I'm going to have to tilt my head round, such as the unprofessionalism that's going on in this room tonight, to see if I'm on the right tab. And I'm going to have to do that and I change topics later on, believe me. But we'll get right into it. It's coming in from Screen Rant. Not much ranting going on here, we hope. I hope as a Harry Potter fan. And as someone who is wishing nothing but success and good wishes to the cast and people involved in Fantastic Beasts. Maybe not JK though, because JK is a little bit dodgy just now. She's getting seal of approval from Vladimir Putin. Bizarrely, I never thought in a million fucking years Vladimir Putin would even know who J.K. Rowling is, or Rowling as people are calling her now, let alone be dropping her fucking name in press releases during the middle of a war in Eastern Europe. But it happened, and regardless of that, I'm going to read the reactions for this movie. It's on social media. They have kindly supplied me with some of the more prominent views on this movie, and as you can see, Ian Sandwell. We welcome the weird and wondrous names of film critics because they never pick John Doe. You will never see a Sue Barker in here. You will never see a Peter Wright in here. It'll be Ian Sandwell. He's probably the more normal name in this list. I've not read them all, so I can't say that for certain. But regardless, this is what Ian had to say. Pretty beige name, even amongst the beige names. Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore is an improvement on the sequel, even if it only fleetingly recaptures the magic. Mads Mikkelsen is a huge upgrade, but the MVP is Jessica Williams' Lally. Yeah, just a second here, we're going to have to get back. Ian Sandwell, you've got a blue tick, my friend. And I tell you what, we are going to go one step deeper. We're going to go into the Inception world of Twitter and just multiple layers of Ian Sandwell here. Ian Sandwell's a movie editor from Digital Spy. All his opinions are his own, as he does say. Let's get back to Ian's reaction here. Can you see the issue I have with Ian's reaction here? The MVP is Jessica Williams' S''S. Ian, that is English in its most basic form. That is an error, my friend. You get taught that in fucking primary school. There is no need to add an S after the apostrophe. Ian, it's a precarious position doing live stuff anyway, but when I'm kind of plagiarising the works of other people and reading it, the last thing I need is you to be making a fucking mistake like that, mate, and putting me off my rhythm, knocking me off guard mid fucking sentence. Don't ever fucking put an S after an apostrophe again, Ian. Never do that. It's just overstuffed and unsure if it's a Beast film or a Harry Potter film. Well, it's both, isn't it? Because it shares the creative juices of Harry Potter from, oh god, now it's 10 years back, isn't it, since we got the last Harry Potter? 11 years in a couple of months. It shares characters. We've got Albus Dumbledore in here. Newt Scamander was a footnote in a book, I believe, in Harry Potter number 2, Chamber of Secrets. We share the same world, we have the same characters in here, man, so it kinda is both. I mean, it is a Fantastic Beasts film, first and foremost, but you have to add some sort of Harry Potter goodness in there. Lord knows you don't want to be pissing off Harry Potter fans. You have an army of avocado-eating millennials on your doorstep trying to stab you with a chopped carrot. Xandra Harbert, I told you the names would be weird and wondrous, and here is Xandra in here, Who the fuck calls their kids Andra? Well, Xandra Harbert's parents did. Secrets of Dumbledore is a magical menagerie of homages to the Potter films, boasting a new slate of wondrous creatures and mythos. It rectifies fans' biggest qualms with Fantastic Beasts 2, offering answers, ground-breaking moments, and epic battles in this love letter to misfits. Well, isn't that what Harry Potter was always about? A love letter to misfits to show that even if you are weird and wondrous and zany and maybe even neurodivergent, you have a place in society, you mean something. And that's why I think it felt like a stab in the back to a whole host of Harry Potter fans, certainly of trans persuasion, when J.K. Rowling stuck the boot in on social media. Now, I'm not going to get into that fucking hornet's nest. I have nothing to say about that. But it's good to see it's got some ground-breaking moments, some big epic battles. Because when you put Gellert Grindelwald in there, Mads Mikkelsen no less, portraying the character, in the absence of the... I don't know what you'd call Johnny Depp now in Hollywood. We don't speak his name, he's like Voldemort. You have him and Jude Law, you need to have some epic fucking battles. You really do. Although they shouldn't be fighting, because that's supposed to be happening 10 years in the future. But who needs consistency, eh? Dave Lee, pretty ordinary name, has went on to say the Secrets of Dumbledore is an exciting and enjoyable wizarding world adventure. That's what we want. That's all we're asking for, as some would say. Thankfully, leagues above the previous. It's probably the best Fantastic Beast so far. Probably. You've seen it, mate. I presume you've seen the other two. Either it fucking is or it isn't. If you can't make a decision, how in the fuck do you expect the audience to go in and make it? You're the first insight into this movie, my friend, and you're saying it's probably. It's got to be better than the second one, because it was a connective tissue movie at best and fucking average beige at worst. Great character work, fun adventure, and amazing duels. Fans should really enjoy this one. Well, that's great. That's just great, Dave. I'm looking forward to this movie. I have to say, I'm always looking forward and excited on some level to see Mads. He's my favourite Danish actor, and just that magnificent haircut is usually enough. The sort of raw malevolence that he carries in every character, even heroic ones, is always something that's a welcome addition to a movie like this. And when he's playing one of the truly malevolent wizards of that universe, then it's exciting to see what he's going to bring to this character. And in fact, you're seeing here, Dave's went on to expand. What really surprised me was the movie's slow-burning angle. It takes its time to build its stories and characters, leading to an exciting and emotional finale. Plenty of inspiration from classic westerns again. Something I'm unsure I ever expected from a Harry Potter flick. A western? Interesting. Huge fan of westerns. I'll be looking out for that when I go to see it in the theatre, no doubt, opening weekend. Jude Law brings incredible depth to this iconic character. Mads Mikkelsen delivers a legitimately, yeah, that's alright, terrifying Grindelwald. That is alright, isn't it? That looks weird to me. The best interpretation so far. And Jessica Williams steals every scene she's in. Her introduction is incredible. He's capitalised just to let us know it is incredible. That legitimate looks weird to me, but hey ho, we'll move away from it. Griffin Schiller has said, fucking hell, Griffin Schiller, I'm going to search up legitimate just to make sure. I am such a fucking grammar Nazi that I simply cannot let that go. Is that correct? Let's have a little look. Let's go up, just double check. Sometimes words look weird to me. They do. No, he's misspelled it. The L's the wrong way. I fucking knew it. I'm so anal. But that's just life. I'm very, very good at English. That's why I take it as a personal insult when people say on here, I can't understand you. Speak English. I speak English and I speak it very fucking well. I am a good orator. I'm quite eloquent when I wish. And I have an understanding, a grasp of English, I always have, that surpasses the vast majority of people. So it pains me physically when I see mistakes like that from so-called professional critics. I know I can do better. And I wonder to myself, why the fuck are they there and I am here? But I digress. Griffin Schiller has said this. Steve Kloves miraculously salvages a sinking ship with Fantastic Beasts free, but it doesn't fully fix the larger issues with the series. Still by far the best of the three. The series feels fun again. The layers of Dumbledore are peeled back and explored in interesting ways. Had a good time. I'm going to stop there. There is the niffler, sorry. I've been nibbling, that's why I said nibbler. The Niffler is back. By all accounts, he's a favourite. He continues to star. I'm glad to see that the initial reactions for this movie are positive, that people have had a great time or a good time going to the theatre to watch it, that at its heart it is fundamentally got that Harry Potter magic. It's got some big bombastic set pieces, it's got some wondrous dueling, that Mads has come in here and he's just slipped in and acquiesced with the cast. Jude Law is a fantastic performance as Dumbledore once again. I'm excited to see the movie. I'm glad it's the standout, because I enjoyed the first Fantastic Beasts. It was silly, it was childish in parts, of course, with the wild and wondrous sort of menagerie of magical creatures. And Eddie Redmayne, I can take a leave, man. I think too much Eddie is a bad thing at times. He's a great actor, it's undoubted, the talent the man possesses, but sometimes there's just a little bit too much of that kind of shy awkwardness that he brings to performances. It's like, right, we get it, enough, give us something a little bit more meaty to the shy awkward sort of act. Eddie, we know you can do it. Fuck knows you played Stephen Hawking. But I'm glad that it's looking to be better than that first movie, because I get quite a bit of enjoyment out of that first movie. It set up these sort of new era of Harry Potter characters, albeit prequel. And I'm just so fucking excited to see where they take this movie. I'll be looking out for the reviews when they come out. Hopefully it gets a decent rating. Not that that will in any way influence my decision to go and watch this movie in a theatre. I'm sure I'll go and watch it. I went and seen Crimes of Grindelwald. I've seen the first one. I will undoubtedly watch this one as well. Glad to see the reviews are positive. Now, I started off in a slightly positive, airy, upbeat meat. Let's bring out some mead and drink it. And now I'm going to move on to this topic here, and it's a slightly more sombre, sad, depressive tone that I'm going for here. Because of course today we get a double shot of bad news. If you're a fan of The Wanted, you will know that one of the star men from that band, I'm personally not a fan of The Wanted, I'm actually scrambling for his name just now, but I know that the poor guy has passed away from a brain tumour, same age as me, 33 years of age, and he's passed away, and that was a tragic bit of news that came out. Surprising, because I actually think the guy says not long ago that he'd get some good news and that he'd maybe live, and maybe even beat the disease. But sadly that man had passed away. Then hot on the heels of that, I think I want to say a half an hour later, I get a ping to my phone. Oh, down I see Bruce Willis is having to retire from acting. And it was a jolt of shock, I'm not going to lie. In a week that has been, quite frankly, fucking horrendous from an entertainment standpoint. You've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Taylor Hawkins, absolute titan of a drummer, a brilliant human being, sadly passing away untimely at 50 in Colombia. And as a man who's been to see the Foo Fighters live, who's been a huge fan of that band for 20 years now, that was a real shocking moment. I actually found that out at like 3:30 in the morning before I went to my bed. That's the type of guy I am, and it saddened me greatly. I actually was shocked to my very core with that news. That put a real dark tone on my entire week, I'm not going to lie. You get that news, that's a kind of sad news as well, the guy passing away so young, it's a tragedy. And then you get this news of Bruce Willis with a health condition that I quite frankly have never heard of in my life, aphasia I believe it is, a neurological condition which impacts on the sufferer's ability to understand and sometimes convey language. It was a shock to me, because this man is and has been working on a whole host of movies for this year. I think off the top of my head he's got about 4 or 5 in post-production and one completed to come out this year. So I wasn't expecting it. I thought the man was getting on pretty well in life. He's just turned 67 not that long ago. Still relatively young. Certainly get at least 10-15 years if he was well and happy of acting still to give, minimum. And it was a real surprise to see that his family had announced. His wife, Emma Hemming Willis, had shared on Instagram, I'm going to read the post. To Bruce, his amazing supporters, as a family we wanted to share that our beloved Bruce has been experiencing some health issues and has recently been diagnosed with aphasia, which is impacting his cognitive abilities. As a result of this, and with much consideration, Bruce is stepping away from the career that has meant so much to him. They've said it was a real challenging time, and obviously this is a big surprise, and a real loss to cinema, it has to be said. You can have the argument that in recent times Bruce has maybe been phoning it in, he's not been at the peak. We've seen him in the 90s, the 2000s, but even still, it's a sad loss when a man of this standing, who's gave so much to the art of film, who's one of the truly iconic action film stars, when we lose that guy's charisma, his presence, his influence in cinema, it's a dark day. And it saddened me greatly to see that he's suffering from this. This is a strong man, a big man, a man that framed my childhood. And I was just speaking about him yesterday. We were speaking about Demi Moore, the whole stuff with G.I. Jane, the joke of Chris Rock that created the slap that was heard around the world from Will Smith. And I was speaking about Demi and how she was a lovely looking woman back in the 90s. And of course, Bruce was married to her, and I was just remarking on Bruce, his sort of rugged handsomeness that he had. It's just his personality. And then we get this news the next day, and it was a real bit of sadness injected into my day. And I'm just going to end this topic. I'm not going to try to be too Debbie Downer with it, because ultimately the man's still alive, and hopefully he's not in such a condition where it's really having an impact on his day-to-day life. Hopefully this is just something it's taking his career, which is bad enough, away from him, but hopefully he can still live a sort of fulfilling and wholesome enough life to obviously his end. And we hope he's not just such a bad place where it's actually taking his ability to speak completely. That'd be horrendous. As I says, I've never heard of the actual condition until today. Something that really surprised me, that there's something within you aside from maybe dementia or something that can do that to you. But where I'm going to go with this is just briefly touch upon what this guy meant to me as a kid growing up. His performances in the likes of The Fifth Element, alongside the equally brilliant Gary Oldman. Obviously playing, I think it was Corden Dallas or something like that. I think that's what the character's name was. Watched that movie at least 2 dozen times. Absolutely loved it. It was dystopian, it was wacky, he was brilliant in it. And then of course recently I discovered Die Hard, and the brilliant John McClane character, right up there with the likes of John Rambo, Harry Callahan. All of those sort of action superstars. He is up there with those great iconic action heroes. And a truly brilliant action performance we got from him, the yippee-ki-yay motherfucker lines, the way he bounced off Jeremy Irons, William Sadler, the late great Alan Rickman. Just stunning action performance, showing you that action doesn't have to be frivolous, it doesn't have to be popcorn flick. There can be something under the surface, there can be real meaning to it. Arguably gave us one of the greatest Christmas movies ever with Die Hard, and I will fight to the death that is a Christmas movie. You move on, he's in the fucking Sixth Sense, the great Shyamalan movie, one of the most stunning twists in Hollywood history. This man is at the centre of it. So this guy has left an indelible touch in terms of career that will never be forgotten. This guy is ubiquitous for the rest of time. He will be there, he's always there, in terms of performance, what he's gave to the world. And ultimately that's the best you can hope for in life, is that you leave memory, that you leave a touch on other human beings, that you live forever, if you'd like. So, sad news, man. I wish all the fucking best to him and his family. God fucking bless you, Bruce, I should say. And I really do hope it's not something that impacts on your life day to day, that this is just something that's robbed you of maybe your acting career, but that you can live a semi-fulfilling life. I just want to touch on it, because the guy was a big part of my life growing up. Some of the more memorable moments I had watching film were with this guy. I still remember the fucking moment I watched The Sixth Sense for the first time. It was a shocking fucking moment. I sadly didn't get the pleasure of seeing it in the theatre. I know fellow movie burner Stephen did go and watch it in the theatre. I can only imagine how stunning a moment that would have been, and a communal experience with like-minded individuals. I didn't get that. I just watched it with my family as a younger kid, and it fucking shocked me to my core. So yeah, fucking shame. Wish him all the best, wish his family all the best. God fucking bless you. Hopefully you're alright in the main. But I'm going to move on to this, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. How the fuck do I go from Fantastic Beasts reactions to Bruce Willis retiring? Having that sort of dysfunctional tribute I've kind of gave to the guy, and then move on to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's a strange show tonight. But that's me. Very bipolar at times. I can be reaching soaring highs, and then I can be down in the dumps the very next moment. But look, we are going to do Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's frenetic family fun. We've got early reviews, reactions. It's actual full-on reviews coming out, and thankfully the guys over at Movie Web have done their best work and gave us little snippets from these reviews, and I'm going to go through them, because I really enjoyed the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I wasn't expecting it. It was a movie that started off horrendously. One of the more horrendous starts you can get to a movie is releasing the trailer and it universally being panned. So much so that your director has to go and take the character and completely rework it from the ground up, the full CG, full shebang, and bring it back. But he brought it back and it was a stunning little animated movie. It made me like James Marsden, which is almost impossible because I fucking hate his smug face. But he was brilliant in it, and look, another guy that left an indelible touch in my childhood growing up, Jim Carrey. Also, and I'll be speaking about Jim later, he's had some words to say about the slap heard around the world. He was in there as Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, and just a great little family movie, a great little zany, different animated movie. Clearly heavily inspired by the likes of Paddington and stuff like that in recent years, Peter Rabbit. So I'm excited for the sequel. I'm excited to see what people are going to say about it, and I'm going to delve into it. These little snippets here, as you can see, Carlos Aguilar of The Rap has says, and short and sweet, I like that. As a director, Fowler understands the task at hand and fulfills that proficiently with some mild sentimentality, juvenile silliness and colourful action. That's really all you want in this kind of movie. You don't want it being an Oscar baiting movie, because it'd be fucking weird. Although it could maybe win for Best Animated Picture. You don't want to be delving into deep human condition questions in a movie like this. It just has to have mild sentimentality, juvenile silliness and colourful action. That's what I want, and that's what we've got by all accounts. He enjoyed it. He found much to enjoy, I should say, and he calls it an improvement on a predecessor, which quite frankly I thought was a great little movie. So that's high fucking happy times for me in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We've got this guy here. This is Digital Spike, seeing Sandwell again, the man that forgets to put or doesn't forget to remove the S in front of an apostrophe. Strange. Let's see if he's made any more grammatic errors in here. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a more confident movie than its predecessor, delivering the same blend of frenetic family fun and nostalgic beats for the long time fans. Ian has redeemed himself there. He's only went and got his snippet, his little comment on the movie in a fucking headline in a publisher's website. Well done, Ian. You've bounced back from the gravel pit, to quote a Wu-Tang song I fucking loved. Here we've got the Hollywood Reporter's Justin Lowe. He says this. Did he? No, we're just going to move on to Total Films. Bradley Russell, because I can't be arsed using my fucking brain to try. He says this. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will appeal to family audiences, even if it doesn't break new ground, elaborating the franchise's sprawling universe of intersecting characters and plotlines. There's not very much to say about it other than it's mildly amusing and reasonably competently assembled. Well, that's just fucking fine. As long as it's watchable and you can consume a large bag of popcorn whilst consuming the movie, it's happy fucking days for me, as I says. Bradley Russell, a man with two surnames, said this. Despise. Bradley doesn't despise. Despite some missteps, Sega's video game mascot proves his previous movie was no flash in the pan. Fan Dabby Dozy as a strange little ginger haired theatre actor would say over here. I think she's a woman, but I'm not entirely sure. Jimmy Cranky, I think she's a woman. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. There's no connection to this whatsoever, what I'm speaking about. This is John Nugent of Empire Magazine. Fellow John has said this. Sonic's second outing is little more than a half-baked, half-term distraction tool. Though Jim Carrey's outrageously committed performance nearly saves the day. Well, it did save the day for me in the first movie. That and James Marsden's charisma that I never thought existed. And ultimately, that is one real dissenting voice. No, I mean, there's that one up there. Wears out his welcome before it turns into yet another phone-it-in franchise entry. I mean, there's got a couple of dissenting voices in there, but a couple of bits of positivity as well. Hopefully the movie is good. But I tell you what, no matter how good the movie is, see this right here. This gives me the absolute fucking fear. It shakes me. I am shooketh to my core when I read things like this. There is never a need. Never, ever, 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 ever a need to be creating a shared universe for Sonic the Hedgehog. Totally unnecessary. And it's the death knell. And the death knell. The death nail. The death knell. I don't know. Is that right? Fuck knows. The final death knell. I don't know. Nail in the coffin. I'll just go, it's the final nail in the coffin. There is nails in the coffin, clearly, that I have just conjured up. This is the final nail. This franchise is doomed to failure the very moment it is shared into existence. I'm just going to utilise shared from the actual headline there. The very moment that is buffed into existence, it is doomed to fucking fail. Because as we've seen with previous attempts... Whoa! I'm getting the exorcism here. Let's bring that light round anyway. It's not doing its fucking job. It's not actually lighting me from the side. It's a shitey little ring light that does my nothing. Bear with me. There we go. It's doing its job now. It's kind of filling in. You will see the importance of this light when I switch it off. Can you see how important that light is? I now look like something out of fucking Pink Floyd album cover. You switch it on, a little bit better. What was I saying there? Shared universes before. Interconnected universes. Only one known to really have worked, and that is the Marvel one. And that's because of the just indefatigability of one Kevin Feige. The sheer brilliance he has managed to assemble around him in terms of creative talent, perfect casting decisions. Just the talent under the Disney machine has made that universe work. The core material, the brilliant Stan Lee, the I'm blanking on the other guy's name, fucking terrible, Jack Kirby, what they gave us with the comics, that's what makes those movies so good. When you have that level of content to mine out of, you cannot possibly fail unless you're an incompetent in making a universe. DC went to try and do it, and they failed ultimately. It was a failure, the DCEU. It didn't work. Universal tried it with the sort of monster universe. It failed. We fail when we try to do universes outside of Marvel. I say we, I have no bearing in this. There is no we and I, and no I and we. They fail when they try to do it. So I'm slightly concerned when you've got this man here, Toby Asher, one of the producers. I think it's not fucking Toby Asher, it's Toby Asher, Neil H. Morrison. In this case, it's Sega CEO Haruki Satomi, revealing that the sequel is the first step towards a shared universe. They go on to say this. He goes on to say this. Toby Asher goes on to say this, more specifically. Are we getting 3 fucking quotes here? We are. Fuck. What have I got myself into? We're creating a Sonic cinematic universe. So we knew we were going to add characters like Tails and Knuckles, new to the film, but beloved by gamers all over the world. They're going to say, it was a great experience for us as filmmakers and as movie lovers. Now we're even more excited to expand that world, adding new characters, bigger worlds, a new incredible journey, and more action and adventure. There are so many places we can go with Sonic. I don't think there is, man. I think you've got enough places to go with Sonic for 3 movies, and then you have to bail the fuck out and quick. Stop yourself from making the mistake of creating an expanded universe. It will fail ultimately. But listen, this is what Sega CEO, what's his name? Haruki Satomi had to say. We've got a remarkable partnership with Paramount, and we're excited to continue expanding the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise with them. Franchise, fine. Absolutely fine. You can create a franchise. You can create the continuing adventures of Knuckles. You can go off and do a trilogy with that character. Fuck knows, you can even give us a villainous trilogy with Ivo Robotnik. You can do things like that. But please, and that would be a cinematic universe, wouldn't it? Really, an expanded universe, to be fair. They're not saying a cinematic universe. I don't think this would work. I think this is a mistake. Stick to the Frenetic family fun, standalone movies. Maybe even make a trilogy out of it, because that's what they like to do in Hollywood. We got it with Paddington, looks like we're getting it with Peter Rabbit. Do not go any further than that. Do not give us a cinematic universe, expanded universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is doomed to failure. But needless to say, I'm looking forward to seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and seeing how it holds up to the sequel. But I'm going to the original. But I'm going to move on to this. New House of Dragon images droppeth. Can you tell I've been listening to Queens of the Stone Age today? First it giveth, then it taketh away. Droppeth, shooketh. First it giveth, then it taketh away. Well, I'm taking away to go to this. It is photographs of the House of the Dragon. And yes, I've prefixed it, House of the Dragon, which is the upcoming HBO prequel to Game of Thrones, which we must hope that the writers and showrunners decide they aren't bored with after fucking 6 seasons or whatever it was, and rush to a conclusion prematurely. Because that's certainly what they did with Game of Thrones, and it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. It left a bad taste in my mouth, it has to be said. Deeply disappointed with how that franchise, that series ended, and it was a great series in bits. Again, what I said before about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, the importance of source material. It ran out because of George R.R. Martin's fucking laziness. And the show demonstrably dropped in quality afterwards. But look, man, this is not what I'm here to speak about. I'm not here to give a withering review of the failings of Game of Thrones. I'm here to speak about House of the Dragon. An exciting new era for that universe. And of course you can see here Matt Smith, resplendent with his blonde hair, looking absolutely fucking sensational, it has to be said. He's got a cane, and it wouldn't surprise me if that cane sports a silver dragon head, because he is a Targaryen, of course. Just everything about this shot is fantastic to me. Matt centred lovingly at the middle. That's what centred means. The blonde hair, inch perfect. Always maintained this man may have the best head of hair outside of Brad Pitt in the whole of show business and the movie industry. Certainly in the West. When you start going over to India, you guys like Prabhas and Ranjinikamp once upon a time would certainly have a claim to best heads of hair. You go to Korea and fuck knows, every one of those actors over there have stupendous heads of hair. Except from the guy that played Cha-Gi-ro, I believe it was, in My Name. He had quite a bad head of hair. The rare Korean to have male pattern baldness. But look, needless to say, it's a great shot. It's lovingly lit. You've got the darkness, you've got the light. You've got him centred in the middle like some fucking second coming of Jesus, a deity. It's just a great shot. I'm incredibly excited about this show. HBO usually get it right, at least initially. And I think there is enough to get our teeth into here with this prequel content. Enough in terms of the cast they're putting together to suggest that it will be something very, very decent indeed. Incidentally, it is coming out this August, so not long to go at all. What? Fucking best part of 6 months, half a year away. Siri's want to have a conversation with me. He can fuck off. So I'm very excited about this movie, this TV show I should say. As you can see here, RADCIFFE. I mean, this fucking guy's tailor-made to play in this kind of role. Another man that's got a great head of hair. Could play a Targaryen. I don't think he is though. As you can see here, he's playing Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, who's loyal to the Targaryens. But look, I digress, man. You've got like some Paddy Considine in there, you've got Matt Smith in there, you've got fucking so much going on in there, man. Olivia Cooke, a cunning political player. Lots of the same of what we got in the Song of Wind, Ice. The Song of Ice, Wind and Fire. Am I thinking about September here? Ice, Wind and Fire. Was that the name of a band? I don't know. The Song of... Fuck knows. I don't know what the fucking books are called. I've got the books in this room somewhere. I could dig them out. I read them up to a point, and then when I realised that George R.R. Martin didn't give a fuck and wasn't going to finish the stories, I stopped finishing the stories. The original Game of Thrones, much of the same sort of stuff we loved in that is in here. It's got sort of backstabbing, political manoeuvring. It's like a chess game. Shady characters, noble characters, slightly batshit crazy fucking characters. And as I keep saying, a great motherfucking cast. So look, man, I just thought I'd touch on it. I thought we were going to get more photographs. There you go, we are. Looking pretty decent in that little green gold number, has to be said. Looking a little bit weathered, has to be said, but still decent looking image. Nice costume design, love the earrings. Looks like a sort of B-grade Amelia Clark, but that's absolutely fine. And again, we've got clearly a Targaryen. This may even be the person that we're talking about there. The sort of cunning manoeuvrer who grows closer to the king. That's a tongue twister. Grows closer to the queen. The king. It's a tongue twister. This is like a B-grade Kit Harington. You're going to get this a lot. There's going to be a lot of B-grade people, and there's Paddy Considine himself of Dead Man's Shoes and various other Hot Fuzz fame. I'm excited about this, man. I'm excited. I'm not going to lay on it too long. I feel like I have to move on, else I'm going to lose the fucking plot here. But needless to say, you get a vibe from the images of what you're going to get in the TV show. And if the quality is apparent in the costume design and the set design, and it is here, it usually gives you a strong indication. There he is himself, by the way, Rhys Evans. I can never say his name. Rhys Evans? Rhys? I don't know. I think he's Welsh. Fucking impossible. You speak their words. When you get that vibe off of the actual images, you know the TV show is going to have a degree of excellence, and you just hope that the script's there, the passion is there behind the scenes, in front of the camera, behind the camera, and that it will ultimately pay off and be a very good movie, TV show, whatever the fuck it is they are getting their teeth into. It's a TV show in this case. Lord knows what time will tell. I'm going to move on to this. What am I ending with, by the way? That might go. I thought I'd bookend it with Harry Potter. I start with Harry Potter, I end with Harry Potter, and I may just. But I'm going to move on to this. I just can't get away from the fucking slap heard around the world. The world. And of course I'm talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith. Now, I spoke about this last night. We spoke about it 2 days ago. Everyone and their grandmother is speaking about the slap that was heard around the world. Speaking about Will Smith. Was it right? Was it wrong? We've got body language analysts poring over footage, breaking it down shot by shot. I fucking know that because I watched a 25-minute video this morning, actually breaking it down. He says it was a 100% real. That Chris Rock was so experienced, such a dab hand comedy, stand-up comedy, that he was able to regain confidence and overcome the slap. I digress. I'm not going to break down that guy's content. I've got my own fucking thing going on here. Several stars have rounded on the Smith slap, if you'd like, and one of the ones that's done it is Zoe Kravitz. And she's come out and quite nifty what she's done here, it has to be said. She's done a nice little bit of self-promotion whilst delivering a withering slapdown, hint hint wink wink, of Will Smith. And as you can see, I'm going to get into it. You can't get enough Zoe. Zoe has got a sort of energy about her. It just struck me, even in press junkets for the Batman, as someone who's not afraid to speak her mind. She will come out and just call a spade and fucking tell you straight to your face that was wrong. Another guy that does it is Jim Carrey, and we're going to get on to him in a moment. But as you can see here, looking absolutely fan-fucking-tastic in a pink dress, it has to be said. I couldn't believe this lady was actually the same age as me, man. I came out the Batman thinking she's got to be in her mid-20s. Searched it up, discussing it with Stephen, fellow movie brother, who's off the show tonight because he's not well, incidentally. I never did address that. And he says, no, I think she's a bit older. 30 motherfucking 3 she is. Looking much better for 33 than me, it has to be said. Looking much better, period. But look, that aside, here's a picture of my dress at the awards show, where we are apparently assaulting people on stage now. I loved this when I seen this, man. I was howling at it, I'm not going to lie. Here's a dress of me at an awards show where we're apparently assaulting people on stage now, but it gets better. She goes on to do this. Again, show off a bit of self-promotion, looking fantastic in a very tight-fitting dress. And goes on to say this down below. And here's a picture of my dress at the party after the awards show, where we are apparently screaming profanities and assaulting people on stage now. I love this, man. I love how outspoken she is. I love the fact she is calling a spade and saying, look, that was assault. Are we really swearing like that at an awards show at the Oscars and continuing on like that's normal? By the way, here's my dress, because that's what we really want to speak about. We want to look at my rear end and speak about the dress. That's what we're all about. It'll be covered in the Sun, the Daily Mail over here. They'll cover the dress. Doesn't she look wonderful in her dress? And completely gloss over the sort of slap. At least the significance of a slap anyway. They've been covering that. Fuck knows, 24-hour round news. I like the fact what she's done there. She's kind of showed the hypocrisy of it all. Here's the glitz, the glam of the event. And here's the dark underbelly that we're not really addressing. Why was he allowed to get the award? Why was he allowed to stay in the fucking arena? The Academy have to answer to that. But look, Jim Carrey's been out speaking as well. And I always respect this man for his complete honesty. His ability, I should say, constant ability to shake presenters and news reporters with just flat out coming out and speaking and saying what the fuck is on his mind. Even if it makes him deeply uncomfortable, he will do it. And I think he was getting interviewed. I don't know what the context for this was. He was speaking with Gayle King for CBS. I seen the video earlier. Didn't know what the context was, and he was pretty fucking blunt with his assessment. He said this: I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless en masse, and it really felt like this is a really clear indication that we are not the cool club anymore. I don't think you've been the cool club for a while, to be fair. I think people are starting to go over the whole I want to be a celebrity thing, you know. I think they're getting over it. They're putting these people on a platform. They're just human like us. They eat, sleep, piss and shite like we do. Why are we making these people out like gods? Let's make the doctors and the paramedics and the frontline people be gods. Treat them like gods, not some fucking rich prick in a mansion in Beverly Hills. But what I digress, he goes on to say this. He should have been escorted out or arrested. Chris Rock doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. I think he said ubiquitous, but yeah. That insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or have a disapproval or say something or whatever, you do not have the right to walk on stage and smack somebody on the face because they said words. It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrating him. I wish him the best, I really do. I don't have anything against Will Smith, he's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment. A lot of people worked really hard to get to that place. It was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing. I think it's absolutely bang on. I spoke about it last night. I says then, I believe that there's something eating Will up. He's in a dark, dark place just now. It's not like the man. I've been following this guy's career for nearly my entire lifetime. And he's always struck me as being a kind, charismatic, lovable big guy. Passionate, deeply talented, but never that kind of guy. Not the kind of guy that would go up and think it was alright to slap someone. That is just something I would never associate with Will Smith in a million years. There's clearly some darkness within him. I think he's got real issues mentally just now, and I hope the man seeks help. I hope he gets the help he requires, because Lord knows that's not normal behaviour. And I think Jim Carrey's just put it a little bit more eloquently than I did last night. It was a brilliant sort of statement he made on that show. It was appalling. He should have been escorted out. If they were determined to give him the Oscar, they could have gave them the Oscar via someone else. Denzel, Bradley Cooper, they seem to have his fucking back anyway. He shouldn't have been in that arena after he'd done it. And it's nice to see that in the sort of more longer aftermath of this, if you like, the later blowback, backdraft, if you like, a couple of days out, that there's people get Chris Rock's back. I think Adam Sandler backed him up on Twitter as well. Love you, buddy, can't wait to see it, talking about his stand-up show that's coming. It's good to see that it's not all one-sided, that everyone hates Chris Rock and they're all on Will Smith's side, because I like the two guys, and it was despicable what happened, regardless of what Will was going through, regardless of his so-called defence of his family. He shouldn't be slapping someone. Completely unacceptable, unless they're a pedo, in which case slap them to fuck mercilessly, Will. But I'm going to move on to the finale of this show tonight. It feels like it's been a long show. I feel like I've been speaking a long fucking time and a half, that's why. Just as well I like fucking speaking, and I do. I really do like speaking. I love the sound of my own voice, and I love sharing my views on biggest load of shite, really. Half the time I do shows. Apart from Bruce Willis, man, retiring. I still can't believe it. It's shocking to me. But anyway, let's not end a Debbie Downer. Let's speak about Daniel Radcliffe. I mentioned the man earlier on, i.e. Gary Oldman. I'm giving the game away here. Daniel Radcliffe reveals Harry Potter influence. Well, he has multiple influencers from his time playing the little bespectacled wizard, the boy who lived, I feel like. And yeah, he was asked this, I think it was Matthew Baloney, on the Town podcast, asked him who, yeah, I mean, this isn't even the same fucking topic. It's fucking Jim Carrey again. Where did Daniel see? He told people during a recent interview, it was people he was speaking with. I don't know if that's a fucking publication or it's just general people. He just spoke with people out in the street. This is who influenced me from Harry Potter, by the way, everyone. If you've got time. This is what I had to say. There are so many people that I could talk about who are incredibly influential on me. The people that I come back to the most are actually some of the people that take their job really seriously. But I also know that they're not saving lives, that we're not saving lives, and we're there to have fun. And there's no reason to be horrible to be an actor. What? And there's no reason to be horrible to be an actor. I don't know. Maybe that does make sense. It doesn't to me. So people like that, Harry Potter movie albums, Imelda Staunton, David Thewlis, Michael Gambon, who arguably takes acting less seriously than any other actor I've worked with, and is better than all of them. He's incredible. And Gary Oldman was obviously a huge influence on me. So interesting to me that he picks out Michael Gambon, but then also Gary Oldman. I know for a fact, having been a fan of Harry Potter for a long time, been a fan of Daniel Radcliffe. I've seen him speak about his experiences of working on the set of those movies, the first interactions with Gary in Prisoner of Azkaban, feeling nervous to be in his presence, how he really soothed him. He was a great influence, he was like a mentor, and then they became almost uncle and nephew, if you like, maybe a relationship, father and son on that set, as they obviously developed into Order of the Phoenix. I know for a fact they had a close relationship. It's so cool to see though that Gary, a man now in his more senior years, not that senior, I think he's maybe knocking 60, maybe in his 60s now, that he has had this sort of lasting impact on a younger Daniel Radcliffe, a man who's my age now as well, by the way. I keep speaking about people who are my age today, I don't know why. But nice to see that he's had that healthy influence on Daniel. Daniel nearly had a point where he went off the rails. He was hitting the drink, I think. He was struggling to come to terms with post-Potter. Just the fame, everyone following him everywhere. So it's nice to see that this guy's held it together. He's now a really well-respected actor, not just a cinematic, live-action, big theatre, film experience, but also a theatre-trained actor. Worked on numerous sort of West End London productions, Broadway productions. He is arguably the most successful, maybe aside from Robert Pattinson and his brief interaction in that franchise with Cedric Diggory. And off the top of my head, maybe Tom Felton and Emma Watson. I mean, Emma's been kind of quiet, hasn't she, let's be honest, when I think of what she's done. That one with Russell Crowe, Perks of Being a Wallflower, I think, and Beauty and the Beast. I can't really think of anything else Emma's been in. I think she's took a hiatus from acting, to be fair. Rupert McGrint's another one. He's kind of unsung hero, been pretty fucking decent, just goes from strength to strength. But Daniel's arguably been the best sort of byproduct export from that franchise of a younger cast, and it's nice to see that he's still paying homage to all of these fucking great English actors, man, who were in that movie with him, the likes of your Maggie Smiths, your Alan Rickmans, your Michael Gambons, your David Thewlis, Gary Oldman. People forget just how fucking great, man, the cast was, just the older cast, the sort of mix with young and old. Blanking on his fucking name just now, but there's another one off the top of my head. Does fucking Aldi adverts for Christmas. Can't think of what his name is just now. Shocking. I'll find it, I'm sure, by the end of the show. But nice to see that he's not so big-headed. He's not like one of these I-know-it-all fucking Hollywood stars who's forgotten their roots and says there was no influence, I was the influence, I was always great. That he will come out and say, nope, these guys, serious, less serious, good at the craft, maybe not so good at the craft, they all left indelible touches on me and made me who I am today. And Gary Oldman, I fucking love Gary. Getting back to The Fifth Element and Bruce Willis, Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Fucking loved the character, loved the haircut. It was fucking stupid, but I loved it nonetheless. What an actor Gary is. Brilliant guy. Great to see that he's an influence as well, a good influence. Just a shame about his sister being so shit at acting though. What is your thoughts, man, on the show? I'm done. What is your thoughts on the topics I touched upon? What do you make? Are you a big fan of Harry Potter? Of Fantastic Beasts? What do you make about Daniel revealing his influence from the set of Harry Potter back in the day? What do you make about Fantastic Beasts? The early reactions suggesting that it is a better movie than the, not just Crimes of Grindelwald movie, but the original Fantastic Beasts from about 5 years ago as well. You can comment down below if you've got anything to say about that, those two topics. You can also share your thoughts in the sad news that Bruce Willis, due to medical reasons, is now having to step back, retiring from acting at the age of 67. Guy's had like 120 odd movies down in his filmography. He's been a hugely successful man in the industry. What's your thoughts, Nick? You can share your thoughts down below if you've got anything to say at all down below in the comment section. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, House of the Dragon, the slap heard around the world. People now rallying to the side of Chris Rock coming out and maybe saying that wasn't fucking cool. Well, I know you've apologised, but don't ever fucking do that again. That was weird. If you get maybe some issues with your mental health, go and seek a fucking bit of therapy. Right the wrongs, grow as an individual. I think Will realises that as well. What's your thoughts, Nick? You can comment down below about anything at all you feel compelled to share within reason in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications on YouTube. Hit the follow button over on Twitch and hit the notifications thing over there as well to get us over there the very moment we drop a stream. And Lord knows we do 3, maybe even 4 coming up soon a week. Regardless of what you do though, thank you very much once again for watching, and until the next time I am done. Bye guys. I'll find that fucking guy's name by the way. Came to me Jim Broadbent, didn't even have to fucking search it up. Jim Broadbent. How the fuck Do you forget Jim Broadbent? The incredible tones of Jim Broadbent. John Hutt as well, by the way. He was in there. There's so many great actors in that Harry Potter movie. Anyone that's not seen it, that thinks it's for kids, right the wrong. Go and watch them. Fantastic movies. Fantastic. Yes, Emma. David Tennant as well.